So welcome back, everyone. Now, if you own a business or if you are thinking of starting a business, my next guest has been on with me before. I have with me Leticia. She's the owner of Zecca Ross Law Firm. Now, your last name is Zecca Ross, and I want you to tell everybody first. I want to do this because before we came on, you said you wanted me to do it, and now I almost forgot, so now I'm going to do it. Okay? So Leticia Zecca Ross, she's the founder and managing partner of Zecca Ross Law Firm. She's currently in 2 locations, which is Phoenix, Arizona, and in San Diego. That's 3 as far as I can see. Since she opened Zecca Ross Law Firm in 2022, her and her team have helped over 300 businesses form entities formation, contract review, contract drafting, M&A, and tax audits. They support dozens of startups from day one, and she's proud to be the 25 plus pro bono cases that she can do in law for firms here in Arizona. I want to talk a little bit about you and what we had talked about also earlier, how what you wanted to talk about today. I got to go right into that. So I've learned that you were a speaker at the Better Business Bureau, and I'm so excited about telling everybody for the 8th annual Industrious Women's Summit last Friday, where nearly 200 women from all across Arizona came together, most of them business owners, I'll get it out, in male-dominated industries to discuss topics like how small businesses can utilize AI, financial literacy, and legal protections for their businesses. Okay, I did what you want. It's hard for me to do that. Now tell everybody a little bit about that and what that summit was all about.
So that summit was all about helping women business owners, women employees thrive in their business and grow in their industry. So I specifically on the legal side cover topics like non-compete clauses, partnership agreements, compliance, entity formation, and nonprofits. There were people talking about AI, how to use AI in their business, finance, and different topics. Wonderful women there, like just showing how strong we are and how we can grow here, and especially in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, and it's true. Women are opening businesses right and left. We're strong, right? And when somebody opens up a business, before we go any further here, what is so important why they should call someone like you?
So I always says that legal is important. Although legal is boring, legal is costly, and legal is time consuming. But it's really important to have someone that can do an overview of the business that you're opening to give you protection, actually to see what are your goals, where you want to go, and the legal can help you, guide you on the steps that you need to have to be in compliance.
Well, let me just tell you something. When you start a business, I don't care how small or how big, it has to be done correctly. Because what happens is you turn around and all of a sudden you turn around, it's 18 years, right? And something can happen during that time, and if it does, and you need an attorney, now you're scrambling, and you don't have to do that. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. Yeah. You don't need to wait until things go bad.
Right, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Attorneys are also here to help you grow your business. We have transactional attorneys and we have litigators, and looking for a transactional attorney, which helps you with contracts and entity formation and structure your business, where you can start stepping up in every way forward. Yes.
Now, her phone number is 619-782-0186. She's rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do free consultations. Her website is Zecca Ross, and that's spelled ZECCA Ross.com. So let's talk a little bit about non-compete clauses. One of our listeners comes to your firm asking whether she could start her own company or work for a tech startup, let's say in telehealth, and while she's working for her employer.
Okay, that's a great question because healthcare hospitality and education are industries dominated by women. Do you know that?
I would think so.
Good. So this is a great question, especially if you're starting your own business or you want to leave your employer and start your own business or work for a startup in telehealth. So the question will be, what do you have in your employment agreement? And then the second question is, let me look into your non-compete clause. So the answer is actually depends.
It's
There-
always that.
It's always
always
depends.
that. Okay,
Yeah,
go
it
ahead.
always depends. So there are 3 agreements that you sign, major documents that you sign when you get into you start working for a company. One is the job offer. The second one is the employment agreement. The third one is they call the work product / intellectual property assignment and confidential agreement. So they can come together in one document or separately. So one of the main sections in those documents is the non-compete clause. And in Arizona, the courts actually enforce non-compete so long as they are reasonable. And they do that to protect the employer business, not to prevent you to start prevent you as an employee to start your own business. So if it's reasonable, means that is restriction that is disposing on time or location, then the court is going to enforce your non-compete. So there are 2 ways of doing that. So once you starting an employment with a new employer, just look into the non-compete and try to negotiate a better deal for you. Don't let them to be really broad, avoid preventing you to start a business, a side business or gig, or maybe when you leave and they need to terminate you and give you the severance package, allow or ask your employer for a written consent or a letter allowing you to waive your non-compete so you can start a new business in the same industry.
It's so important, and I bet you a lot of people who start working for those companies don't read that.
No, that's the majority of our clients comes to us when they're being terminated and they want us to review their agreements.
And so you don't have to wait. You could have them have them look at it even for you, let's say. Would you say, if when they have a situation and they wanna leave, you're gonna come in there, you're gonna take a look at it and say, look, maybe you should do this in a different place, because, if you wanna do business, you can't compete with them, right, whatever that says, right? You're gonna help them be able to do it by, maybe there's a way of them doing it in another area or a certain area of amount of miles away or something like that.
Yes, you can, actually, it's part of the negotiation with the company there you are at. So you can negotiate with them if they are open to negotiate a better way of waive your non-compete and, as you said, allow you to start your business in the same industry, a couple of miles away, a different location, or maybe a different approach that they don't have it yet.
Their phone number is 619-782-0186. Rated with the Better Business Bureau, free consultations. It's Zecca, ZECCA Ross.com. Okay, before we can go to a break, hopefully we'll get this all in here. How about partnership agreements? I know someone that was an owner of a business and he lost several clients because he trusted the wrong partner. He thought that the partner was working, and lo and behold, he actually wasn't.
Wow, that's bad.
I did that one good though.
Yes, you did. So there's like 2 ways that I see this. One is when you're looking to have a partner, just look for someone that shares the same values as you. If you're a hard worker, look for someone that is also a hard worker. If you respect your clients, look for someone that respects the clients. If you meet deadlines, look for someone that meet the deadlines. So that's the first part. The second part is, and it's really uncomfortable, negotiating the beginning partnership agreement. A solid partnership agreement is when you come together with this person, this partner, and discuss issues like, okay, what is our goal? What are you looking to accomplish? Who is bringing what to the table? Am I bringing the money? Are you bringing the equipment or the skills? So what happens if we disagree? Are you going to bring a mediator? arbitrator, or like we're going to a retreat to resolve our difference, and also sharing profit and losses, and what happens if the partnership doesn't go well. Life happens, so.
And most of the time, life happens the bad way. And you're gonna find out that you've been with somebody that you thought you could trust, and maybe he wasn't so trustworthy, right? Maybe they were doing things that, now that you find out, you've gotta call an attorney. But you don't have to if you would already have worked on these things together beforehand. That is the most important thing, especially if you're gonna get a partner. You better have an attorney.
That's
That
it.
number to call again is 619-782-0186, Zecca, ZECCA Ross.com. She's rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do free consultations. We're gonna go to a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk further. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a minute. So, one of the things, I like what you're doing, but you could also maybe, if you've had a story, not necessarily today,
add
but
in.
to add it in. Like, Carol, I know these people, they started a business and they ended up being enemies because
I have attorney-client privilege.
You can't?
I can't. That's
Can
why I
you do-
gave you like a.
Okay, so you can't do that,
overview.
okay.
Yeah. I cannot,
Not even
Yeah,
halfway,
right.
okay, so don't do that, no, don't do that.
I can cite some public or like some well-known cases.
Or you could
but,
say, can you imagine if something like this happened to you,
I can't,
right? Can you imagine if? Because they love stories.
yeah, that's why I put in the questions.
I like it, I love what
Yeah.
you're doing. I
I'm
do, I
talking
like
about
it.
clients I can't.
Okay, but we're not worried about that.
Okay.
Do you wanna go back and say anything more about, the partnership agreements
I don't
now?
know. No, I
You
don't
got
think
it?
it's a,
Okay. So.
if we just have
you-
15 minutes more, yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I wanna get at least to the last one, which is the workshop. That's what I'm going,
Well, we're gonna get to it.
yeah.
Which one? This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to.
Do you want me to do it now? I'll
No,
do it now.
no, you can do it later, that's the wrap up.
Okay.
It's just not,
I'm gonna try and get to it. All depends on how you answer.
yeah, I know, I'm looking at the clock.
No, don't look at the clock. Look at me. Because that clock isn't the same as what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Remember that. It's
Okay.
shorter. It makes it worse. It makes it worse. There's less time than 15 minutes.
Okay.
So. But you're doing great. And I'll be better next time for it.
No, it's
Because I know
perfect,
you
it's
want.
perfect, it's just a lot of legal terms, and I don't wanna be extremely like focused on the legal
No, but it's
side.
fine. It's okay. I like the way you're doing it. I like it a lot. But I think that it would be okay if you were to mention something about like, husband and wives.
Okay.
When
Like
they-
the partners, yeah.
Right.
I
That's
had
a
a
part-
client like this,
Yeah,
that they got divorced while the managers were developing the business.
Yeah.
And then they are working, and then the wife decided to have part of it, and the managers were supposed to be the next in line to inherit the business from the owner, which they thought was just the husband,
yeah.
but in Arizona it's a community property,
Shoot.
yeah, so. I have a lot of cases
Oh,
that
yeah,
I
that's-
can't.
I know. So welcome back, everyone. Anyone who is in business, if you are a new startup, or if you are, been thinking about opening up a business and you want to do something on the side, it's all a business. And these things have to be done correctly. I don't care if you're with a partner or without. There's some legal things that can come up, and most of the time, when we're talking with Leticia here, Leticia, when do they call you usually? When there's a problem or beforehand, most of the time?
Because I work with a lot of startups, is actually they are looking for money. They're looking to raise capital.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually incorporated using the wrong entity because they didn't look into what are the end goals. So there are books talking about when you decide to start a business, and this is not an issue, it's actually good, you're growing, you're bringing a business to thrive, so you need to look at the end goal. And that's what makes you decide your entity. So I got a lot of calls of people that start business like because someone told them, okay, you should incorporate a limited liability company, what they call the LLC.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually the best option for them was either maybe a corporation, maybe file election to be a S corp, and they didn't do the research, and they decide to go with what the Google says or what the ChatGPT says.
Oh, boy.
And yeah, most of my clients like come to us after they incorporated a business that they're supposed to be different business type, and then we need to do the conversion, that's or domestication, depending on if we need to move the business from one state to the other.
Well, I'll tell you something, folks, that's when you said Google, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know, because everybody thinks that they get the answers from Google, and it's just not the case, and it's different for everybody, right? And I think sometimes there's too much information can get you in trouble too.
Yes, I do think that people need to do some research, for sure. Like you cannot go and decide to do something without having the basics of doing research about your industry or your goals or what is you're looking for to accomplish before even talking to an attorney and actually ask the right questions. Not doing any research is really bad, but doing research is good for you to have the right questions to ask your attorney and use the time properly.
Well, I'm gonna skip to 5, okay, because we're gonna go right now into this. Here's a situation. A listener operates the business as a single member LLC, but did not separate personal and business finances. Ruh-roh, I'm telling you now that a lot of people do that, and it's not a good idea. When sued by a vendor, the court allowed the vendor to go after our listener's personal assets and asserting that he or she had commingled funds and did not maintain proper corporate formalities. He didn't operate a DBA, doing business as, and continued to invoice clients under a personal name. He also used his social security number instead of applying for the EIN. He had to sell his assets and pay the debt. What happened there?
Wow, this is a great example of what people do in life and in real
Almost
life.
every day.
Yes. So here's what I can say. Even if you're the sole owner, the single member LLC in your example is a member is the owner of an LLC. So even if you're the only owner of an LLC, you have to remember that the LLC, the limited liability company, the entity that you form, is a separate entity from you. So the limited liability company actually provides you for limited liability, which means that if you follow the corporate formalities, the profits that you gain are going from the business and your personal assets are separate. So if the vendor comes to sue the business, they cannot, in thesis, attack your personal assets. But in this case, so the person didn't obtain a DBA, like doing business as, so they are invoicing the clients using their own name, the personal name. This looks like sole proprietorship, which is a business that doesn't provide to the founder and the owner limit liability, and allows someone as this vendor to sue and gets their money back from the personal assets. Another example in this case is that he is using the social security number instead of applying for an EIN, which means that they open a bank account under his own name, not under the business name, and he was getting money into his personal account. which doesn't allow the separation that is required for them to protect her personal, in this case, his personal assets.
Well, I'll tell you something, you have to do things correctly. Calling her, starting fresh, the right way is the best way. Again, that phone number to call her is 619-782-0186. It's ZECCAROSS.com. Here's okay, so supposing a situation happens, a small nonprofit focusing in minority empowerment received a notice of IRS audit due to inconsistent Form 990 filings. The organization had changed treasurers 3 times and failed to document donor receipts properly. The audit resulted in penalties and loss of donor confidence. What happened here?
So nonprofits are mission-driven entities. They are actually corporations in, for example, in California, but they apply for a tax exemption with the IRS through Form 1023, long or short, that's what they call, and they need to commit to those rules, which means that in a situation where this nonprofit changed 3 times treasurers, which means that their document for donor receipts were not properly documented, they probably raise a red flag into the IRS, and not filing the 990s, which it's a form that you need to file as a nonprofit annually with the IRS, can trigger an IRS audit and can give the nonprofit a huge headache and filing for penalties. The IRS can impose penalties and interest.
You don't want a red flag from the IRS. For sure, for sure.
No.
Now, let's go to this one you've been wanting to talk about. I'm so excited about it. Tell me about your Women Hidden Potential, and which is the legal framework workshop. Let's talk about that.
That's my passion now. So the last book that I read from Adam Grant, he's an organizational psychologist. It's called The Hidden Potential. And in this book, Adam says that every one of us has a potential that's hidden, but you can unlock if you give to the person the right tools. So our law firm created this workshop to help women that are stuck in their business, but on the legal side, to have a better overview on the legal framework and get them unlock what is hidden.
What's your potential? It's hidden.
Yes, and this is like a design specific for women in business, and the goal, we are starting a group session, a few women, and have another one already scheduled, but I'm looking for support and sponsorship and grants, maybe for banks or financial institutions, so I can get more and more women joining the
So how
workshop.
do they help you? How do they sign up to do that?
Just call our firm, 619-782-0186, and tell them they want to be part of this workshop. They want to help women. They have their purpose to help women thrive in their business, because you know that just 2.14% of women are venture capital fund, have the support of venture capital funds.
Mhm.
Only 2.14% in the entire US.
Right, I agree with that. I mean, I did it. I'm a woman, and I didn't get anything. So but honestly, there are people out there that want to help. I think that's what's lovely about you, is that you really are truly. And yes, this is for women. And you know what? There's so many women out there that they have so much inside of them, and I don't think they even know, right? But having that help to be able to help you be able to have these seminars, or have them, which she's calling a workshop for the women. She's looking for help. So you can go up onto her website, which is Zecca, ZECCA Ross.com. You can call her, you can talk to them about this. It's 619-782-0186. And certainly anyone that is in business, starting a business, please make sure that you have an attorney. Make sure that if you're starting something, especially even if it's a partner, with or without, that you start fresh the right way. Again, that number is 619-782-0186. She's rated with the Better Business Bureau. She does free consultations. Check her out. It's